Hey everyone, it's me, Stephanie, again. Just trying to continue making my YouTube videos to help me get through life. But I had a topic I wanted to bring up about autism. We have a son with autism. Our son is 19 now, and we've come a long way. We've had a lot of very hard issues. Anybody with a kid with autism would know that things are very different than you see in the other kids that some call normal. Um, I could go into all the details of like the banging, the kick in the walls, the holes in the walls, the messed up moldings, the broken doorknobs, the floors, the damage to so many things, and how hard it is. But a lot of you already know that. But my main concern is that I'm finding that with all the family members that I have, mostly all, we're finding that we don't fit in to society or family or friends the same way that others do. And I think what happens is people have their own norms or their own ideas of how things should be, and they go by that. But I wish them to know that if it ever had happened to them where they had a disabled kid or an autistic kid or Asperger's, I probably can't even cover or a sick kid, born sick, um, disabled for life, all those things. Even adults who become disabled later in life, old age. I don't think people realize the differences that you go through, and they can't comprehend why you, as the parents of the disabled or autistic, or you're disabled, or I don't think they can comprehend the life that we really live. And it makes me wish that they would sit and listen to some people that do have these problems, because then maybe these others that don't understand would have a better idea. But instead, what I've noticed is almost every family member I have had, almost every one of them, um, they have not understood, and they have name called, name calling me, our family, accusing us, accusations that aren't true. Maybe part of the accusation is true. Like say for instance, you don't come around or you don't visit. Okay, that's partly true. But that's then for instance they'll say, you kept your son from us. You're keeping your son from us. Just recently, it was based by your choices you made. We only get to see your son once a year, and you're keeping him from us. You're holding him from us. Excuse me. And we never got to spend time with him due to your choices. And it's a lot of comments that come out that hurt you. They hurt you. They hurt your family. And what I want them to know is, don't they think we're hurt too? Don't they think that we did not do this on purpose, and that we just had to do what we had to do to get through all these difficult times and everything? I mean, for instance, our son, not until 2016, I've actually asked our son, our autistic son, who's 19, when do you think that you started becoming more comfortable and getting out in the world? And he said 2016. And it was like, thank God that he said that. It's because that's what we've noticed too. It's only been recently that he's been starting to open up. it used to be where we couldn't even take them out of the house. I mean, people don't understand this stuff. Autistic kids are used to their comfort zone. They're used to, they're afraid. It takes so long for them to how would you say, get used to doing something than it does like a normal kid. But I'm just saying normal to show the differences. I don't really feel like a lot of kids or adults out there are actually normal themselves. I mean, I don't know what you want to call normal. It's just what I'm doing here is like autism versus like a normal educated kid. Or, you know, our son is 19, but he's mentally 9 years old. So that's what I would wish people could understand, that he is mentally 9 years old. But he should have a MET review coming up. That's like every 3 years, but then they have an IEP with the goals and stuff like every year. But I mean, his MET review, it's either 3 or 6 years. He should be due for one. And we'll see if he progressed any further. But last, I don't know the date, but it's somewhere. Last he was, tested, he was mentally 9 years old. So could you imagine? Okay, these other people have to realize, family members, friends, whatever, that he is mentally 9. Even if he looks older than 19. He looks probably 20 something, not his baby face, but they need to realize that he's not as old as you think he is, and it's not like the norm that you see every day. There's so many differences involved in a kid with autism. Okay, and then what's really hard is when they look fine, they look like there's nothing wrong with them. They just look like a normal kid. But so recently we had these things come up against us again with the family, and I constantly had it with my family. Now he's having it with his family, and it's like, well, we don't really have any friends, but certain friends that I tried to have, it ends up the same way. I can't be there every time. I can't visit every time. I can't be somewhere regularly every day. I mean, yeah, it was to my job. I had 10 years with missing one day, which I had him cover for me, so I didn't miss. People don't realize the changes that we had to make in our life, the sacrifices that we had to lose, him and I. There's a lot of differences, and I think what's happening is they just see it like everybody else they see around in the world, and then they can't comprehend what you're going through. And it's like, I really wish these people would try to understand and look into it more before you start accusing us. Because if you say, oh, you're keeping him from us, you're keeping your son from us, okay, that is not true. If they say, oh, you only come around once a year, okay, yes, that is true. But the thing is they don't understand how hard it is. They don't want to understand. And I think they just see as like all the rest of the world is. And they can't comprehend yours is different. You know, people want to say, oh, I've been through it, and I've been there, and I've been in your shoes, and we had to go through hard times too with our kids, and blah, blah, blah. Yes, I get all that. So I'm going through that same thing you are, but plus I'm going through a lot of other different things that maybe you haven't gone through. And so I want people to understand, before we had our son, him and I were going out to eat, we were visiting people, we were with friends, we were enjoying our life, we were eating dinners, just so many things. After the autism, we don't do anything. We don't have no friends, we don't go nowhere, we don't go out to eat, we don't go to movies, we don't go shopping, we don't even go grocery shopping, we don't celebrate birthdays. We couldn't. The kid would freak out. He also, going to other people's birthdays, would get really bothered because the kids were getting gifts and he wasn't. And how do you explain that to, at that time, okay, he's mentally 9 now at the age of 19. At that time, I think he was only mentally, with his last review, was like 6 years old or something. So, I mean, a lot of 6-year-olds do know the difference. Like, it's their birthday, not yours. Don't touch your gifts and stuff like this. But autistic kids have a really hard time understanding things. Autistic kids have a really hard time with a lot of things, going places, new places. They have to go to the same all the time. It's repetitive, the same. It has to be the same. And we had to keep it the same, and we had to do all the same things within his comfort zone, so that way we could get him to the next step of doing something else. And these things have taken so many years, even up to the age of 19, and they're only just now, since 2016, starting to show a big difference. It's very sad that the family has accused us and treated us, I feel, not fair. And I really wish that they would have checked into it and looked into it and really cared and asked you. I mean, the conversations when we go to Christmas or Easter, this, that, which it's only been once a year lately, but for the past 3 years we've been to Christmas, and we used to go to the Easter, and we used to go to Thanksgiving. And see, in big families or people who are like normal, they can go celebrate birthdays, they can go to pool parties, they can go to beaches, they can go here, they can go there, they can spend the night. Do you know that our son has never, ever, ever spent the night anywhere ever? Because I tried it one time, I did. He was so freaked out. He was hysterical. It was so stressful for him. He lasted 3 hours. They were calling me to come get him. Do you know that I went to a Bible study one time, and this is when he was like 10, and they took him into another room to the kids' Bible study. Do you know within 10 minutes they brought him back? His shirt was ripped. He was sweating. He was red. He was paranoid. Okay, do you get those kind of instances that I'm trying to talk about? And I'm actually asking my family this. You need to see and be there. Are you willing to live our life every single day so you can see the truth behind it? Are you willing to do that? Do you have enough time to do that? Can you miss your job and come over here and do that? Because if you can't, and if you can't see the everyday battle that we face, and you don't want to take our word for it, and you want to keep on accusing and, to me, telling lies that we're keeping our son from you, and it comes out in an argument. It came out in an argument. It wasn't that anybody ever told us this. And supposedly we've been hurting them for all these years. Well, I'm sincerely sorry. It wasn't meant on purpose. It was the best for our son and the time that it was done. And that's all I can say. And I want them to know, do you know how much we have missed out in life? As you were all at birthdays and pool parties and baptisms and weddings and everything else, and movies and shopping and everything. Do you know how bad we have suffered? Please, please, family, friends, understand, having an autistic kid is a lot different. Thanks for watching.